is the topic of our presentation, that is sustaining SME performance during COVID-19, a resource-based view. I'm the author, along with my respected mentor, Dr. Joan Rolle, Dean School of Business, Medgar College, the City University, New York. Basically, if we talk about the COVID-19, we are all familiar with all sort of problems and issues that we faced in the form of business shutdowns, then lockdown, then social distancing, then social issues, economic issues. These all are there all around the globe. If we talk about the background, SMEs in Pakistan, these are going to be some facts about the ones. 40% of the national income, this is generated by the SMEs. 60% of the employment here in Pakistan, these are provided by the SMEs, and then 90% of the business activities in Pakistan are related with these SMEs. So far as the effects of the COVID-19 are concerned, 95% of the SMEs suffered from operating deficiencies, 89% faced financial problems, liquidity declined, financial resources drained, and then 48% of the SMEs laid off their employees. 23% of the SMEs lost export orders. And now the question is how to sustain performance of SMEs during uncertain time like this COVID. This is the theoretical proposition. Basically, the resource-based view, this theory has been used with reference to the large-scale organizations, but there are very rare studies, few studies with reference to SMEs, and we are using the same theory with reference to the SMEs. The competitive advantage is based on the resources endowment, where the resources are heterogeneous, durable, difficult to imitate, and we are using this theory in the SMEs perspective. There are a number of resources, physical resources, structural resources, and then like social resources, then financial resources. We are having a number of resources there, but the questions we are answering in this study, how SME performance could be sustained during the problems or the shutdowns or the downturns caused by COVID-19 in Pakistan. Does resource-based review explain variation in SME performance during the downturn caused by COVID-19 in Pakistan? And what are the most important resources or capabilities helping SMEs to sustain their performance during economic downturns caused by COVID-19? That is basically the main question, that what sort of resources are going to be the important one, the vital one, and that is going to be the value addition in our study. Now, the value of research in this study is going to extend RBV to incorporate economic uncertainties like COVID-19. Okay, it contributes to literature by focusing on small firms more, and these small firms are more vulnerable to external uncertainties like COVID-19. This study is going to provide evidence from developing economy like Pakistan, and then the practical value of this study, it is going to provide practical solution to SMEs to cope with external uncertainties, and then it is going to provide implication for the policymakers to support SMEs during financial downturns. This is the model of our study. It will be looking like this one, our model. Then these are going to be the interaction of resources, part of my model. Methodology. SMEs performance, so far as our scales are concerned, we have taken the financial performance and market performance. These are going to be our dependent variables, and the scales for these two variables have been taken from the study of Gunday et al. 2011. And then the scale for the financial resources, that was adopted from the study of Memon et al. 2020. And then the scale for human capital was adopted from the study of Khalik et al. 2015. The scale for the social capital, that was adopted from Khalik et al. 2015. And then the scale for agility was adopted from Talon, and that is 2011. Basically, I was talking about the resources. There are so many resources. Those may be categorized to the structural, then physical, social, then the financial. So all those resources we analyzed, and then among those, the literature was focusing on these four resources. The impact of all other resources was not like significant, or it was very meek. So we based our study on these four types of resources. Those were financial resources, then human capital, social capital, and then the agility. Agility is basically the ability to respond to a particular situation, especially the uncertainty. The population and the sample, the SMEs in Pakistan, and especially in the city of Lahore, those were the population for this study. We used cluster sampling technique, and then the owners and the managers of the SMEs, those were the respondents in this study. We got 25 responses in total, and of those 25, we used 392 for our analysis. If we look at the results, in the first model, that is over here, we used all the four types of resources as the independent variables: the financial resources, human resources, social resources, and then agility. And if we look at the first model, where all the four resources were taken as the independent variable, only the social capital is going to be significant at 1%, and then agility is going to be significant at 1%. But then what we did, we moderate our resources with agility. We moderated our financial resources with agility, and the second model is about the one when we moderated agility with the financial resources. Now look at that. It is going to be a significant model. Agility is going to be significant, and then financial resources are going to be significant. It means that if the financial resources are moderated, are collaborated with the agility, these are going to have some very positive impact on the financial performance of the SMEs. Then in the third model, we moderated agility with the human capital, with human resources. Again, the model is going to be good enough, fit enough, and it is significant at 1%, and we can see agility is significant at 1%, and the human capital is significant at 5%. And if we look at the fourth model, where we moderated agility with the social capital, social resources, again, the things were getting much better, and the model is significant at 1%, and then agility is significant, and then at 1%, and at the same time, social capital is also going to be significant at 1%. So what we are going to learn here, that if we are going to have all the variables all alone independently, then only agility is significant at 1%, and social capital is significant at 1%. But if we are going to moderate all these variables with agility, then the things are getting much better. The results are going to be much significant and positive. So it means that not only the resources are sufficient, but we must have some sort of ability to respond to the situations, the adverse situations, especially to cope with, to maintain our financial performance. Now, Our second dependent variable was market performance. Now, again, we took all the four variables, independent variables, and then among those, only agility is going to be the significant one and positive one, having impact on market performance at 1% of 1% significant. But when we are moderating this agility with financial resources, the things are getting much better over here, and our model is getting significant at 1%, and our agility is getting significant, and then financial resources are significant at 1%. And when we are moderating our human capital, human resources with the agility, the things are even better, and the model is good fit, and it is significant at 1%. Agility is significant at 1%, and then so human capital is going to be significant. And then for the fourth model, where we moderated our social capital with the agility, the model is going to be good fit, and it is going to be significant at 1%, where the agility is significant at 1%, and social capital is significant at 5%. Now, what message we are getting over here with reference to the market performance and then with reference to the financial performance? The message is going to be the one, the result is going to be the one. Not only the financial, human, and social resources are sufficient to maintain the performance of the SMEs during some adverse circumstances like COVID-19, but the SMEs must be able to respond to some adverse situation like COVID-19. This is going to be what I was going to say. Social capital and agility had positive impact on financial performance. I have already mentioned over there. Only agility has a positive impact on market performance. And then the resources are not sufficient all alone. It is going to be the combination of resources and agility that will be enabling the SMEs to cope with the adverse situation like in COVID-19. Now the recommendation, very important recommendations are there, that the SMEs are given a message that they should not put emphasis on the resources only, rather they should enhance their ability to respond to the adverse situation, mean they should put emphasis on agility as well. Apart from building resources, SMEs need to improve their agility and bring more flexibility and creativity into their operations. Now, the agility may be related to workforce dynamics, it may be related to communications and monitoring channels, it may be relating to the sales and distribution mechanisms, and then it may be related to the pricing strategies, customer relationship management, and management of financial resources. And what is the message for the policymakers? Here in Pakistan, we do have SMEDA, that is the Small and Medium Enterprise Development Authority. The message is for the policymakers, for the SMEDA, that they should empower, they should provide financial resources only to those SMEs which are more agile, which are having the ability to respond in the adverse circumstances like COVID-19. Okay, this is my final message. Financial support may be provided to more agile SMEs to ensure better utilization of the resources. This is what on my part. These are the references. I'm really thankful to the organizers of the conference for providing me and my mentor, Dr. Joanne, an opportunity to present our work. Now, that's all about from my side. If you have any question, my pleasure, please.